Welcome to another episode of A Breath of Fresh Jacob, where we have another topic that is, well, it's something. So, let's just jump right into that. Today's question comes from Nacho Linguist, and I just noticed that's actually the first duplicate we had. Every episode up to this point has had a topic from a different person. This is the first time someone's got a second topic in, and what a topic it is.
What the hell? No.
This NFT craze has been going around for the past few months with companies, celebrities, and even popular voice actors hopping on board. What is your take on NFTs? I personally hate them due to their effect on the environment and what they've done to artists as well as their communities. You don't have to keep what's in the parentheses in the video if you don't want to. Oops. Also, how many fucking questions was that? No, okay. No, it's just one. Good job. Okay, so anyway, here's the thing about NFTs. And I'm going to go ahead and start this by saying that I think NFTs are bad.
Why you pouring me? I'm right.
If you're expecting me to be like super on board with NFTs, I'm going to be disappointing you today. I'm going to try to hit every angle of NFTs so that you understand them better. I'm going to do my best to try to explain it because then I can actually give my opinion on them and why I think that they're bad. Okay, so NFT stands for non-fungible token. You've probably heard this before and you may or may not know what that means. For those of you that don't know what that means, something that is fungible is something that there's like a shitload of. So let's say here in my hand, I have a copy of The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD on Switch. There are a shitload of these and they all have the same exact value. If you go to the store and you buy it, it's probably gonna be about $60. If you have a copy of it and I have a copy of it, we trade them to each other. The value is the same. They're exactly the same. So this is fungible. If you go to the store and you buy a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, that's fungible. There's a shitload of them. It doesn't matter which box you buy. They're all going to be the fucking same, right? It doesn't matter which cartridge of this you buy from the store. They're all going to be the same. So anyway, non-fungible is the opposite of that. Something that has unique value. Something that there's only one of. Here's a copy of a Black Lotus from Magic the Gathering. Okay? Now let's say I take this purple Sharpie pen and I sign my name on it. Like so. Okay? So I sign my name on this card. There is only one copy in the world of a Black Lotus with my signature on it. This is mine. It's the only one. It is non-fungible. Now, you could take a copy of a Black Lotus with a purple Sharpie pen and sign my name, and you would have one too. But yours isn't authentic. Mine is. How do you prove that? Well, NFTs. I would have the NFT for this card because it's mine. It's my signature, and I would have it for this in a digital sense, not a physical sense. So I would scan this, I guess, make a scan of this and be like, this is the original one. I would put that on the internet and be like, here it is, boom, and I would buy an NFT for it so that I have a token that shows that this is the original and it is mine. Imagine like the bartering system, right? I trade you 2 chickens for 20 candlesticks, right? Or something like that. The value isn't definite between those. Different people would have different values on them depending on what they needed at the time. You know, a chicken farmer would need candles and the candle maker would need chickens. So they trade things that would not have inherently the same value, and both parties are happy with that transaction. I hope all of this is making sense because I'm about to make it even more complicated because NFTs are all completely digital and it uses blockchain. Now that's a scary word and I'm gonna do my best to explain that to you as well. I am so sorry, Charles, for all the editing you're gonna have to do for this because it's probably gonna be a little long, but I'm gonna do my best. I want people to be informed as possible. Okay, so blockchain, right? That's where cryptocurrency lives and it sucks. So the blockchain conceptually is a really cool idea. Conceptually. So let's say I have a bank account with Chime. And let's say that Charles has a bank account with Bank of Canada. We'll go with that. I want to send him $125 to pay for a service of editing a video. I pay him using my debit card. Cash is becoming less and less useful. I pull out my debit card, run the numbers through a website to send him the money. Immediately what happens is my bank is like, yo, what you doing, fam? You trying to send $125 to this guy? Well, hold up. I'm gonna look at all your transactions. So it looks at anything I've bought, like, did I buy groceries this week? Did I make a house payment? Did I make electric bill payment? Did I get some food at Wendy's? Like, it's gonna check all my transactions, right? It's gonna add all that shit up and subtract all that shit to give me my current balance. And it does this that fucking fast. And it's like, okay, do you have more than $125 in your bank account? I'll be like, yeah. So the bank is like, cool. So we've got $125 at least. We're going to approve this transaction. And all that happens as soon as you swipe your card, or you put your card in, or you use the little NFC chip that's in it, whatever one of those that you use. As soon as you do that, the bank does all that in an instant. And then it all happens on the other side when the money goes to Charles's bank. His bank is like, oh, I guess you have this much more money now. And it adds it to his list of transactions. Now you may be wondering, how exactly is this relevant? Well, I wanted to do a thing, he wanted to do a thing, and our banks took care of it all. The bank acted like a middleman. Blockchain is removing banks from the equation. Instead of banks, it's all like peer-to-peer shit. Kinda. So what happens is there's a shitload of computers out there that do all these calculations on the blockchain. Like all the time. Like all the time. Like holy shit. All the time. Let's say I wanted to send him $125. We use the blockchain instead. First, what happens is I try to send him $125, and all these computers calculating all this data all the time go through a list of every single blockchain transaction ever for everyone. And it checks to see, based on all that data that involves me, do I have $125? If the answer is yes, it's like, okay, good, done, boom. And now there is another entry into this giant public blockchain bullshit that is just like, hey, he sent this money, so he has 125 less than before, and now Charles has 125 more than before. And that's just stored publicly there forever, added to the mountain of data that's already there. And all these calculations keep happening all the time. It's insane. It's a little confused. It's actually a lot confusing. I'm trying my best. This is not what I thought I was going to be doing today, okay? So the blockchain takes the place of what a bank does and instead uses a shitload of computers, which you could argue that banks use computers too, but this is just like, these are like public computers, like your computer or my computer. A lot of places there are actually like server farms where there's just shitloads of computers inside of a warehouse, and that's actually where a lot of the stuff is done. But our computers could do it. You hear a lot about that with cryptocurrency mining. Honestly, it's not completely inaccurate to think of an NFT like a cryptocurrency. They're very similar in a lot of regards, but they're not the same. That's confusing. I'm going to try to stay away from that because it's just really confusing. Now, so a good example of an NFT and how it differs from what I just talked about is, here's actually great examples. So speaking of Magic the Gathering and me drawing on this Black Lotus, Charles, if you would so kindly put the current market value of an unlimited Black Lotus right there, please. So that is the value of a Black Lotus. All Black Lotuses that are in the same condition from that same set all have the same value, except this one is different because it's got my signature on it. Some people would consider that more valuable.
Not scientifically possible!
Some people would consider that less valuable.
Scientifically possible!
But it does change its value, so it is unique amongst the rest, which is why it would be an NFT, whereas the others would not be. They would just be fungible. As far as value goes, how much money did it cost to print that piece of cardboard? 10 cents, probably. So that card, based on the materials used to create it, cost 10 cents. 10 cents! And yet, we, as a group of people that play Magic the Gathering, all decided somehow that this card is not worth 10 cents, it is worth that much money. We gave it a value beyond what it is, because its value is 10 cents, because that's what it cost to make it. But we have assigned it a new value. This is what NFTs do as well. It assigns a completely different value to something. A great example would be that tweet, like the first tweet ever, was sold for like millions of dollars or some shit. Editor, please. But that didn't have any inherent value before NFTs came in and said, boom, now it does. But here's what's so weird and how the blockchain works with this. So let's say whoever it was that bought it, I have no idea, wanted to pay however much they paid for it. So let's say the person that wanted to buy this tweet for whatever reason said to the guy that made the tweet, hey, I will give you however much money it was for your tweet. Normally, I can't give you a tweet. Like, it's just a thing that exists on the internet. I can't give that to you. But all the blockchain thinks about is, oh, that's what you want to do? And the guy who made the tweet is willing to do it? All right, well, do you have the money you say you want to pay for it? You do? Okay, money moved. Tweet is now this person's. That doesn't make any sense. As people, we look at that and we're like, it doesn't make any sense. How the fuck can you own a tweet? Blockchain doesn't give a fuck. It's like, you said you wanted it, he said he'd sell it, the money changed, and okay, cool, you have the tweet. Even though that makes no sense, the blockchain does not give a shit. So, what is created is an NFT. Now this person owns a token that says that they own the tweet. That's all that happens. You don't actually physically own a tweet. You just have a thing that says, I paid money to this person and they said that I could have it. That's all it is. You don't own shit. Best case scenario, you own a URL that takes you to that page with that tweet. But guess what? Everybody else can go there too. It's a URL on the internet. You can go there. You can screenshot that tweet and I could print it out and I could put it on my wall. They can't stop me. It's stupid, but the blockchain doesn't give a shit. And so people are doing this. Fucking Nine Cat GIF sold for what, like $500,000 or maybe a little more? Same thing. The blockchain doesn't give a shit. It's just like, oh, you wanted to pay this much money for it? Oh, you have that? Okay, swap. Swap the money in the product. That's all it cares about. And it records it in this giant public ledger we call the blockchain. It's written there, and that's all that matters. So now these NFTs are created. It's like, okay, yeah, I guess you have it. After having said all that and rambling for like 15 minutes already, let's get to, just for a moment, a few of the ways that NFTs can be good.
Well, why are you boring me? I'm right.
Trust me, I know. But it is worth mentioning. NFTs at their core, when used correctly, could help validate the authenticity of art. Art is one of the big things that is traded as NFTs, but it can be more things. It can be music, it can be games, whatever. Anyway, art is the main thing. Let's say that Molasses draws a stick figure.
Hey guys, editor here. Jacob forgot to give context for people who do not watch his streams. Molasses is a shorthand for one of his Twitch moderators. Thanks for making me clarify that, Jacob.
She gets an NFT for it that says this is Molasses' stick figure. 100% completely verifiable. Boom. This is her stick figure. That helps give it authenticity, which also helps give it value. Okay, so now that we've talked about all the good that NFTs can do, let's talk about the bad for NFTs.
Ah, boy, here we go.
NFTs are a way for rich people to blow money on fuck all. This is not new. This is a thing that has already existed. This goes back to the whole value thing, like the Black Lotus costing 10 cents to produce and it having an insane value assigned to it. Look at Starry Night by Van Gogh. It's probably in a museum somewhere, I'm sure, because it's a beautiful piece of art and it deserves to be preserved because I love it. It's one of my favorites. We decided as a giant group what that painting is worth. It might be worth more to someone else, it might be worth less to someone else, but it is a subjective worth. But you can get phone cases with Starry Night printed on the back of it. It doesn't cost $1 bazillion. I could put a picture of Starry Night up there and it's fine. Legally, it doesn't matter. It's fine. But here's the thing. Let's say that one in the museum. We know that's the right one. It's in the freaking museum, right? Let's say I grab one off of the internet. I go to Google, type that in, and boom, I'm gonna get 50,000 results. Let's say I hit print and I print one out and I stick it on my wall. That's okay. It's not the real one. It can look exactly like it, and it could be a good fake too if I have like a super printer, but it's not the original. So it doesn't have that value. Art is basically just what rich people did before. Physically, now they're doing it digitally. They are deciding the value of things and then paying that much for them and getting it. But they're not really getting it. They're just getting a certificate that says I got it. But nobody fucking cares. It's still gonna sit in the museum. They just own it. But they don't. It's worthless. It's just something stupid for rich people to say, oh, look what I got. Nobody fucking cares. And normally that would be the end of it. Oh, rich people doing stupid shit. Okay, whatever, I don't care. But then all this NFT shit, all this blockchain shit, all this cryptocurrency shit, all these computers running all these calculations, all these transactions takes a lot of power. Like a stupid amount of power. Like you can't even fathom how much power is being used for this shit. And where does our power come from? Power plants. And how do power plants make power? Burning fossil fuels. So what does that do? It fucks the environment even more than it already is. So all this NFT shit, all this cryptocurrency shit, all this blockchain shit, it's just even further destroying the environment. But you know what? Rich people clearly don't give a fuck about that. That's why NFTs are stupid. Conceptually, they have a purpose. And conceptually, they could be a good thing, but they're not because assholes are just trying to get rich quick, or rich people are trying to show status by buying pointless shit, again, like rich people do. They're terrible for the environment, and they're pointless. Also, there's a lot of shady illegal shit going on involving those, especially when it comes to copyright, which takes us to our next section.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of...
You can make an NFT of something, but is it accurate? You say that what you have is the accurate one, but is it? Who can prove that it's not? Again, the blockchain doesn't give a shit. You say, I have the original of this thing, and here's my token to prove it. Well, you just generated that token, and whatever. You don't actually own the original. You're lying. But the blockchain doesn't know that, so the blockchain says, yeah, sure, sell it. If that person's willing to pay for it, exchange, done. It's in the public ledger. That's it. You just made money off of someone else's something without permission. That's illegal. That goes against all copyright laws. Like, imagine if you uploaded to YouTube an entire album that a band just released, and you said, yeah, I own the rights to all this music, you would get taken down on YouTube immediately. But NFTs, there's no one checking that shit because it's new and it's fairly unregulated. So people are doing this like crazy. They're stealing art, music, everything from people just to make a quick buck, even though it's illegal, hoping that just because this is a new and pretty much unregulated thing that they can get away with it. And they are getting away with it, and it is absolutely ridiculous. While NFTs were created for the right reasons, asterisk, they are horribly abused and terrible for the environment. And because of that, I do not support them at all. They are a terrible idea, and it sucks that something that could have been good got absolutely destroyed by assholes and rich people. Okay, so I've been blathering for almost
16
minutes on this stuff. I don't know if any of this stuff made sense, but I hope it did, and I hope you learned something today. And if you think I was wrong about something, or if you want to give me your own opinions on NFTs, that's the comment section's for. Please use it. Also, please like the video and share it around. If you are talking to a friend and they're like, I don't get what NFTs are, I don't get what blockchains are, maybe this video might help. Maybe if I was accurate in my information. I hope that I am. I can only do so much, though, so here's hoping that everything I said was accurate. And everybody, please give a big thumbs up to my editor for editing this extra long episode. I hope he cuts a lot of the fluff out and reorders things to make it all coherent.
Why wouldn't I? I'm not some lazy, inconsiderate jerk who lays in bed all day.
Good luck. I really appreciate it, my friend. That's all I got for you for this time. I'll see you guys here next week for the next episode, I'm sure. And just remember, Daddy wasn't there to take me to the fair and to change my underwear. We'll see you next time. That hurt.
That's what she said.
That was so long and confusing.
She said that as well.